gentlemen, as you already know, I always keep my signature lingering somewhere in the background. Okay, today is gonna be day 3. As you can see, back here in storage. Fortunately, this time around, I actually have a full battery. Okay, I want to pick up where I basically left off in the last video, and there's going to be quite a few things I'm going to get to. Basically, in this particular video, I'm going to be giving some tips and some demonstrations to a few ideas to those viewers out there who basically either own the 5-drawer U.S. General tool cart or the 4-drawer U.S. General tool cart, and I'm gonna basically get out some items and get some side by side comparisons that I basically wanted to put in a video yesterday. That unfortunately I wasn't capable of doing so because, like I said, I was running off of half a battery, and while I was recording, and I got down to where I was showing towards the end of the video, and I was showing some flip sockets, and I had out a couple of other flip sockets, which were what I was trying to explain was gray pneumatic. Okay, to just give you an idea that sometimes it's not all just about tool truck brand equipment and so on and so forth. And there's plenty of quality items out there that you can use to get by in your jobs when the time needs, um, until you're able to establish a certain amount of income in order to basically start upgrading your equipment. Like I said, in a lot of these videos that you actually see on YouTube, all of this equipment and all of these items were basically obtained a little less than a year's time. As you notice, from my very first video that I actually ever put out was only 11 months ago. Okay, in that particular video from the very first one, the U.S. General 5-drawer tool cart and the 4-drawer U.S. General tool cart was only purchased 2 weeks before that video was actually shot. Before I picked up the U.S. General 5-drawer and 4-drawer U.S. General tool cart from Harbor Freight. I used to have a Northern um, tool cart. And in the last video, where I was trying to explain about me basically paying $140 for the 5-drawer U.S. General tool cart and the 4-drawer U.S. General tool cart is that I was googling Harbor Freight coupons, okay? But how I discovered the coupon is that I went into Google Images, okay, and went into a history in the Google Images of Harbor Freight coupons. And what it was is that I happened to come across the 45% off um, coupon. So this is for what reason why I purchased both carts for so cheap, because during that time they had these carts at a listing price over, well, the 5-drawer tool cart they had in a listing price over $200 and some change with the tax. I think it was coming out to like 220 or something like that. Okay, but with the 45% discount coupon, it was basically applied individually. What I had to do when I was basically at the counter, I had to have one of the numbers applied to the 5-drawer, and then I had to have another coupon applied to basically the 4-drawer tool cart. Okay, so this is what made the 4-drawer tool cart come down to, I think it was like roughly between $62 and $64 that I paid for that particular cart. And the 5-drawer tool cart I only paid 80 something dollars for. Okay, I also used that same coupon number applied to the side trays. So as with 45% off on the side trays, I basically basically got the side trays for half the price of basically what they cost. So between both carts, I made out very well in the process. Because of that, when I had the Northern tool cart, I had already acquired a lot of different brand new equipment, okay, but I had to discard that cart because it was a smaller cart. Actually, it was a little bit more smaller than the 4-drawer US General tool cart. So when I had the Northern tool cart, I didn't own it no more longer than roughly about a month and a half. Okay, I threw a picture up on Craigslist with some tools in it, and a gentleman seen the listing on Craigslist and traveled from another state to purchase the tool cart from me. He actually wanted to purchase everything with the tools in it, but I didn't sell him the tool cart with the tools in it. I just basically sold him the tool cart. And from that day forward, that's when I went and I purchased the 5-drawer and the 4-drawer tool cart. So in the very first video, you can see that, especially when I go to the 4-drawer US General tool cart, you can see a lot of the items that you now see in the 5-drawer US General tool cart, which they were brand new. They were still in their original manufacturer packaging. So a lot of those tools that you see and that equipment is now in the 5-drawer US General tool cart, and with other items that I may have discarded within time, because the 4-drawer US General tool cart was purchased by a gentleman who came across an ad that I put on Craigslist, on a random moment, just to see if somebody would be interested in it. And during the time, his young son was just offered a brand new job at the Toyota dealer. The gentleman who purchased the tool cart from me for his son was actually a retired mechanic. So, he had extensive knowledge as far as what tools was being given with the tool cart and so on and so forth. And I didn't actually put a listing price, on the tool cart. He actually made me an offer for what tools that I was willing to give him with the cart for his son, and his son was present during that day. Not for nothing, that 4-drawer tool cart that I basically purchased for $60 something, I wound up selling that cart with and discarding a few tools, and the gentleman gave me $750 basically for a 4-drawer tool cart with, just a few items of tools that technically the value on them didn't really succeed what he actually paid for, but that's what he was willing to do. So, I sold it to him, and in the process of me selling it to him, this is when I started to upgrade to a lot of the cordless impacts that you basically see. That's how a lot of that started to occur. Okay, so just to give you a little history, how I came into these carts. Okay, like I was saying, for some of the viewers out there who actually own the US General 5-drawer and 4-drawer tool cart, I was trying to show in the last video, how I basically did the modifications for the storage units on the side, and that what step bit that I basically used to do that modification, which was the Milwaukee number 12 step bit. Okay, but in today's video, I will actually get out the hammer drill. Okay, I will pull the pry bars out from the side that I was showing in the last video, and I'm gonna give a little slight demonstration, as far as how it was done and how I did it, because when I threw up the video explaining, I was in the shop when I actually did that modification, and I'm only one person holding the tablet and holding the tool, so it's not always easy to demonstrate and show what I'm trying to explain to the viewers. I also see some people out there who actually buy the side locker to extend their storage, and they have issues with mounting it against the cart. Okay, I've seen in quite a few videos where they actually obtained the side locker. Okay, and then some had the idea, to add casters. Some didn't add the correct casters, where that the side locker is suspended in air at a certain height. Some left the casters out. I'm gonna give a little idea and demonstration of how you can properly mount the side locker also without doing any modifications or any cutting or anything like that. This is an idea that I think that most people never realized. Even though the side cabinet is not technically for the 5-drawer tool cart, and it's for another unit that US General and Harbor Freight distributes, but there's just some ideas that I have for this cart right here. I still don't know, at the prior moment whether I will keep it. I do need to keep it, but I may technically upgrade it. If so, as you can see, down here is that Husky cordless tool organizing holder. I also have a different idea for that, so I'm gonna demonstrate and talk a little bit about that also in this video to give some of the viewers and some of the owners to the US General 5 drawer and 4 drawer tool cart, some ideas that they may not have thought about before. The reason um, why I've been kind of deciding to change my mind about just mounting the Husky cordless organizer is due to the fact that I actually have a lot of guns. As you can see already, technically I have roughly about 15 um, different guns between cordless and pneumatic air tools. Okay, but this is a small cart, so when it comes to power drawers and stuff like that, as you can see, I don't have the space for power drawers. You're only going to get that type of storage, in a more bigger chest, in a more bigger box. But I do have a solution, because I was thinking about mounting not just one of these, but mounting possibly three, or changing up the unit in order for me to line up 6 guns side by side. Okay, you won't be able to line those 6 guns side by side, actually, towards the side of the cart, but it can be done towards the back of the cart. When I'm in shop, I don't have the tool carts, lined up on the walls. I always have them out away from the walls, if not being able to move around, from one end of the shop to the next. So this is why I was basically deciding with the idea to have 6 guns basically lined side by side towards the back of the cart. Once I get things out, I will be able to show a little bit more better as far as what I'm trying to explain and what I want to show. Okay, so right now, as you can see, everything is still back in its place. Okay, so what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to get things out. Bear with me. Once again, the video is gonna be a little long because I'm gonna go through some things. Okay, all in this one video. Like I said, I do have a full battery right now. Okay, so I have some time. Today is Saturday. I'm on my downtime right now. I don't mind doing this for the viewers. Like I said, I just get into my craft. Okay, I enjoy spending the time to being able to share the information and share the knowledge to anybody out there who is willing to accept it. Like I said, I'm not biased to using any brand equipment or whatever the case might be, as you already know. Okay, and like I always say, it's not always necessary, that you always have to have the tool truck brand tools, depending upon what type of work you do. Like I said, you have to basically get it in your mind as far as what you want to do and how far you want to take your career. You got to have a particular vision. With me, more enough, I'm motivated in a certain way, so that's what fuels my motivation to want to do better, to want to learn certain things, and study my craft and really get into my craft, and um, basically become more of a perfectionist to my craft. Okay, so I'm gonna pause this video for a second. I'm gonna get some things out, and we're gonna jump right to it. Okay, as you can see, I have the card out right now. Okay, in a video that Lakes the Land and Dale Lucid put out. Okay, as you can see down over here, right, they put out the video for the Husky magnetic power tool organizer. You can pick this item up at Harbor Freight, I mean not Harbor Freight, Home Depot for roughly about $20. Okay, so as you can see here is the back of the cart. Okay, they basically have um, the tool organizer mounted, where you would normally locate it, either underneath the handle towards that side, or depending upon if you need the tray space, it doesn't really necessarily matter, which side you would want to put it on. Okay, but when I thought of the idea, due to the fact that I have actually so many different guns, I actually can fit 3 of those cordless tool organizers amongst the cart. Okay, I actually have 15 different guns, but with the storage, I would only possibly be able to get 9 of them because each of them hold 3 apiece. Okay, so this is just a thought and an idea that I'm going to throw out there to some individuals who do the modifications who possibly never thought of this idea right here. I have a lot of different unique ideas for these tool carts and tool storages. Okay, so I'm gonna get out the organizer so that you can basically get a good example and a good idea of what I'm trying to explain. Okay, as you can see how I basically have the unit now outside of its plastic. Okay, and to give you a good idea of how things would basically look if I were to just sit this at the top. Okay, and then you see the distance that it has on the opposite side. You would know that I can mount 2 of these towards the back of the cart. Okay, so that's just to give you you know a different look and a different idea to how things would basically look. Okay, and it would be below the threshold of when you go to decide to basically put the lid up, because as you know this would be towards the back of the cart. At the prior moment I have my tape measure inside the cart to um, measure the length, but I can already tell that basically 2 of these will fit towards the back of the cart. Okay, and with the exception of being able to if depending upon which side you have your tray on, you or if you don't have a tray, you can actually put a third one here, or actually put a third one here towards this side. Okay, this is just to give you one particular idea right here. Like I said, me personally, I have 15 different guns, so I'm trying to eliminate as much of space as possible, because in this particular tool car, as you can see, I still have things in its original manufacturer boxing and blow molded cases, which actually takes up the bottom drawer's whole space, where a lot of other different equipment can be utilized in that particular drawer. Okay, just as well as I have many more um, different guns and ratchets and so on and so forth at the top of the chest. Okay, so that's just one idea. Okay. Okay, another thing that I want to point out to some individuals who have these tool carts, which is the 5 drawer US General tool cart, because I don't believe that it will work on a 4 drawer tool cart when it comes to the side lockers. Okay, you have some people who basically purchase the side lockers and extend the storage space, and when they're doing so, they have an issue with basically lining the side locker up to the cabinet. So what happens is that they have to start doing remodifications and cutting the lid in order for things to work, in order for the lid to go down. I'm gonna show you a quick idea as far as how to eliminate doing the modifications and any cutting. At this prior moment, I don't actually own the side locker, but I already seen this vision a long time ago. I just never decided to purchase the side lockers, because yes, even though it has its drawers, I still technically need drawers that are a whole lot much more longer. So me purchasing the side locker, for the space that it actually do have for smaller items and smaller essentials, is not something that I necessarily need it for. But to those out there who do go to extend their 5 drawer US General 5 drawer tool cart to that application, I just want to point something out in order for you to see. Okay, a lot of times when they go get the side locker and they do the modification, a lot of times some people, they leave out where that you can put swivel casters underneath the locker. In my opinion, I would actually go with the same standard swivel casters underneath the side locker in order for it to be suspended in the air at its same height. Okay. When it comes to when they have to do the cutting and remodification in order for the lid to go down, this is something that I want to point out. If you take notice here to the side tray, okay, and how the side tray is designed here, right? And if you notice how it actually has its spacer, okay, that enables the lid to actually close shut without the side tray interfering with absolutely anything. In order to mount that side locker, you would basically use the same principle, okay? Even though that the side locker can hang towards the, I think it has like a curl that can hang from the side of the tool cart, but in my personal opinion, I think that it could be mounted a whole lot much more better without you actually having to do any cutting if you chose to go this route, like how they demonstrate with the side locker. And when I mean the spacer, okay, if you take notice to here and the lining, how it drops below the lid. Now, what I would have had did was is I would have had took something like that and reverse the plate to its opposite side. Okay, then I would have took the drawers from out of the side locker, because you can drill these same spec holes. Okay, and not just that, the hardware that comes to the US General, which you know towards the end, anybody who basically owns these carts, they know how towards the end of the hardware it's square and it locks into the subframe of the cart. You can use that same hardware, and what I would do with the side locker is take the drawers out and drill from the inside, so that when you go to mount it, the bolts will be going back this way and you will still be able to lock down the side locker from the inside of the cart, just as well as when you first assembled the cart. Okay, so as you know, the hold down bolts are towards the inside, they're not towards the outside. Okay, and you can do this all the way down. Now, when I was saying about basically having the universal swivel casters, now you will still be able to move the whole complete unit um, in any which direction that you would really choose to. I never really chose to change the initial casters that are in the front, which you can see are basically the fixed casters. The reason why is because I don't have any issues at the prior moment where I actually be having to move the cart, from one shop to the another. I leave it more enough stationary. So I prefer at the prior moment, to still keep the fixed casters instead of the universal swivels, okay, where that I'm still able to lock things down in place and keep it stationary, okay. So that's just something else that I wanted to point out. And like I was just demonstrating, when it comes to your cordless organization, depending upon how many guns that you have, or drill drivers, or drills, and so on and so forth. I just basically showed you and gave you an idea to be able to store 9 different units, okay, on one storage space. The only thing is that that storage space would never be positioned against the wall because you would need access to get to those guns. Okay, so that's just something that I just wanted to point out right there. Like I said, this video is going to be a little long because there's going to be some things that I actually have to show that I never get an opportunity to really explain or demonstrate in most videos. Like I said, I'm only one person. I'm not a professional cameraman, or am I a professional video commentator, anything like that. I don't edit videos. I just randomly pull out a device and just start telling you what's on my mind. And like, there's no specific topic that I actually go off or set up in order to just start shooting footage. I just randomly, pull out the camera and just basically start telling you what's on my mind. You understand? And giving you some ideas that I have that at one particular time I may have utilized. I may still be in the process of utilizing it. If it can work for me, I'm quite sure it could work for many others, depending upon what you do, what you have in your equipment, and so on and so forth. Okay. It's just spreading the love and spreading the knowledge. All right. So I'm gonna get a little bit more further into this video right here. Like I said, I'm going to get out some items, going to do some side-by-side comparisons. I'm going to go back into quite a few other things that I didn't get to. As you can see down here, I have some things that are laying up underneath there that you may not seen um in the other videos or whatever the case might be. So I'll get some of those things to the top of the card. I'll get this out of the way since the card is basically out at the moment. Okay, these are some items that I had at the bottom. As you can see, what you're taking a look at right here is a Robin Air refractometer. Okay, that was in a blow molded case. This is its kit. As you get over here, this is the Dayco belt diagnostic kit. Okay, so just to give you a good idea, I did throw up some of these items right here in past previous videos. When I was in the shop, I never really did a review on this Stillman Pro wheel lock removal kit. I've done reviews and throughout other videos of another Stillman Pro wheel lock key kit that I have in one of the master kits. Okay, but just to give you an idea, all right, you can see the where they have been used to use these when necessary. Okay, as you can see, it comes with its punch and it gives you its specs here. This is a 9-piece set. Okay, if you did not necessarily need the whole set, and say for instance you just needed an individual socket, as you can see they have their own individual part numbers and so on and so forth. Okay, just to get this out of the way real quick. Okay, now what I basically want to point out, quite some time ago I put out a video more enough explaining and giving an example of pry bar modifications for US General 5-drawer and 4-drawer tool cart. Okay, but because I'm only one person, and during the time when I was doing the remodification, I actually didn't have anybody standing around to record while I was actually performing the work. Okay, that modification was done. I was given different steps to what I was acquiring during that time in order to do the modification up until the day that I actually did the modification with another technician's drill that day in the shop, which was a Ryobi that I was using. Probably right after that video was recorded, because I didn't have my own impact driver, I threw out a video for the Milwaukee hammer drill. And so this is for what reason why I picked up the hammer drill, because during that time when I was in the shop, I actually didn't own one of these of my own. Okay, so as you can see here, there's no need for me to put the battery in the hammer drill, because this is just a demonstration and an idea of how the remodification was basically done. As you can see, CP the tool addict, he sent me a number 1 step bit, which is a Milwaukee. In the process of him and Tariq sending me that step bit, what I'm going to be doing with that step bit and a further modification is basically setting up power supply and getting the proper holes in proper locations with that particular bit. This is why I really appreciate them sending that bit to me, because the intentions and the plans that I had, I would not have necessarily been able to do it with the number 12 step bit, because it's a bigger bit, okay, and it would enlarge the hole a whole lot much more wider than what I would need it to, okay. But as you can see here, what I was trying to show in that video, how I bored the holes. Okay, so to give you a demonstration of what I was saying is that if you were trying to bore down, the gun would not be able to go all the way down, okay, because of the railing that sits here. Okay, so in order for the modification to be done, as you can see here, okay, it's hard. Now I'm through the hole. Okay, so this is basically how it was done, and this is what I was trying to explain, how it was done basically from up underneath. Okay, so like I was saying, when it did it, as you can see, it cut it completely round. As you can see, you can still see little paint, but it didn't chip the top, as you can see. If I pull out one of my lights, you'll be able to see it a whole lot much more better. Okay, but it cut it through very smooth, as you can see. Okay, so just to give a little idea of that, you know, if you have issues of fitting your pry bars, this is a solution, and that is a Milwaukee number 12 step bit. Like I was explaining in that last video, that this bit is actually kind of expensive. When I did purchase it at the time that I did, I think I paid between $40 and $50 just for that one bit. Okay, you can go to places like, yes, Harbor Freight, and get a cheap set of bits, but the thing is that the bits that they provide are not a big enough size. Okay, anytime that you want to go in higher size and step bits of this quality, most retailers like Home Depot and Lowe's and places like Harbor Freight don't distribute step bits more bigger than the size measurements that they have in specs for this particular bit. In order for you to get bigger bits, which are out there, you would have to research industrial brand distributors, okay, for heavy equipment, in order to get bigger size bits. Okay, so just to throw that out there, you know, as an example, because like I said, I did in the past put out a couple of videos, and I put them as reviews or demonstrations, but it was hard for me to demonstrate. I'm more enough explained in those videos, so now I'm now giving you the visual to how it was actually done. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go back a little bit more towards this side of the cart. Yesterday I was talking about certain things in the video, and in the past I have put out some other videos specifically on a particular set, and I titled those videos, you know, Milwaukee tools that most people don't know exist. And I have put out a couple of videos demonstrating some information that I was basically coming across, and how I was finding and locating the information is because I already had an extensive amount of Milwaukee equipment, which was in 6-point metric. Okay, so what had happened was is I started trying to locate, due to the fact that I have all the impact sockets, but over here in the United States they only basically sell the thin wall 1/4 inch set in metric, and their 3/8 drive thin wall set are in SAE standard and they're 1/2 inch. Okay, but that's not to say that they do not distribute metric sizes. They do distribute metric sizes, but just not here in the United States. They basically sell them overseas with other manufactured authorized dealers that are over there. And as you can see, this is what is called Shockwave Impact Duty Milwaukee. This is the real lug nut socket set, as you can see, which is 17 millimeter, 19 millimeter, and 21 millimeter. If you Google this item, you'll see, you know, you can get it on Amazon and things like that. But if you take a look at the shipping, you'll see that this item is coming from overseas. And on Amazon and other platforms like eBay, a lot of times they won't allow for you to purchase it, because overseas and the authorized dealers who actually have this item, they don't ship to the United States when it comes to this item. I don't, not for nothing, I was fortunate enough because I was doing so much extensive research in a lot of places that actually had them. I had to locate the phone numbers and speak to people directly over the phone about this particular item, and I was fortunate enough that a company that I was capable of getting them from, an authorized dealer out there, was willing to ship to me from Australia. Okay, so if you ever take a look on YouTube and you try to basically find this item, you will not be able to see this item. I'm the only one who basically put up videos of this item. Okay. Or if you possibly go into Google Images, you'll see that this item exists. But when it comes to content and video footage, I believe I'm the only person out there who've ever put out video footage of this item because I actually possess it. Okay. So just as well as you know, Milwaukee, yes, is a big brand, okay, and it's a brand of Home Depot and other authorized sellers, and yes, a lot of people promote Milwaukee or whatever the case might be, but you have to ask yourself, why haven't they been able to show you this or give you reviews on this? As you could tell, I had it for quite some time, and back here, as you can see, this is a Laos oil filter low profile socket set, and the part number is 13300. So like I said, if you've never came across this item, I have plenty of different videos on this item right here. I will leave links in the description to this particular item, so I'm not going to take it out the box because you can see me talking and covering whole particular videos just directly on this set right here. Okay, just to throw that out there too also for a moment. So I'm going to get these other items out so I can do some side by side comparisons, and we're going to jump right into it. Okay, now moving along, I did state that I would give you a side by side comparison. Now what you are taking a look at is the Genius Professional double boxing wrenches. These are degrees offsets right here. This is the metric set right here in 12 point. Okay, and then what you have over here is the snap-on. Okay, which is a 6-piece metric high performance 0 degrees offset boxing wrench set. And as you can see, the part number is XDHFM606. Okay, and this is ranging from 10 millimeter to 20 millimeter here, as you can see. Okay, in the beginning, um when I first brought this set in a review, I actually didn't have this set in my possession. Okay, I acquired this particular set because every time that I would get on a snap-on truck, and I would ask my dealer, do he have these 0 degrees offsets? He never had them in stock. He had the 15 degrees, and there's a torque set that is like this also, but that's not what I was interested in, nor did I need. Okay, so what had happened was is that instead of me waiting and just jumping out the window because I basically needed them to perform certain particular work, the reason why I picked up these wrenches is because I was running into work in certain applications where that my ratchets and my sockets wouldn't fit in certain locations, and sometimes this is what these wrenches are most needed for, and its length, so that you can, the more longer, it's more easier to break a fastener. Okay, in certain enclosed areas that's hard to get to. So this is a good purpose for me had picking up this particular set here. But in the meantime, even though the dealer didn't have this particular set here, once again, to give you the part number, this was a purchase that I actually made from an outside platform on eBay, other than actually picking this up from the truck, which in all actuality I got them a little bit more cheaper than what they go for in the truck. And this item is still warranted, or I can swap this item out with my dealer at any given time. But this is an item that I'm getting ready to open, so I'm not looking to swap it or anything like that. If something was to go wrong, I'll still be able to get it warranted. But by me leaving it in its original manufacturer packaging, this is an item that I can actually get on a truck with my dealer and just swap it off for something else if I technically needed to. Okay. To clarify, some curiosity and some questions out there, in comments that I have got, because the viewers, they see, yes, I got a lot of equipment, then they see, I have a lot of snap-on equipment. There's a lot of people, who are just now catching speed or catching wind to some of the videos that they're seeing, right? So when I stated, yes, I do actually have a tool bill, some people, they are throwing the comments, they are hoping or assuming, that all of my snap-on equipment, or not assuming, they're asking, they're hoping that, I didn't credit all of that equipment. No, to clear up, any speculation as far as a tool bill is concerned. I owe a tool bill on maybe roughly about 5 to 6 items. Okay. If you follow the videos, as I've been putting them out, you can see basically what I got from off the truck and what I didn't get off the truck. When I would be in the shop, a lot of packages would be delivered, okay, to the shop, and you would actually see me opening up a lot of different Snap-on products that came from other platforms. Anytime that I purchase something on the truck, I've actually thrown up videos of me actually being at the truck or on the truck, okay? And after the fact, you would see me throw it in a review. So that's just, some just to clear up off there, because I don't want nobody out there thinking, I owe thousands of dollars or all my equipment is basically out on credit, because it's not. I own 85% to a good 90% of all my equipment. And what little bit of a tool bill that I do have, when you, in the video that you see me moving everything, as you can see, a lot of that equipment is still all in its original manufacturer packaging. Okay. So if any time that I ever wanted to smash my bill, it's nothing for me to take those items and be able to give them right back to my dealer and eliminate the bill itself, and not have to pay any bill, or decide if I wanted to get a new tool storage. My dealer will order me a tool storage right then and there on the spot without no problem. So this is what I'm trying to teach to the younger technicians out there, as far as don't throw yourself in a hole or get yourself in debt with purchasing the big 5 and 10 and $20,000 tool storage, and you don't have the tools to match the storage. There's no sense for you to buy a high sophisticated safe to store $10 worth of tools. You understand? It just doesn't look right. I'm not shooting at any tool distributors or anything like that, but I couldn't personally, in my own personal preference, I couldn't see myself purchasing a $10 and $20,000 tool storage, but I have a large extent amount of $5,000 to $10,000 worth of DIY equipment, or home improvement type tools that are not really used, or brand quality to be used every day, day in and day out. Okay, that really holds no value. I can't see myself purchasing a tool storage without now having the right stuff. All right, so that's just basically to get into that. So what I'm going to do is I'm get this package open real quick, because like I said, now I actually do have these sets here, because when I did throughout the first video, I was doing a comparison amongst flex head ratchet and wrench set, which is the snap-on, which it was a video, it was content to put out there, but those are technically not the same items. These are the same items, so this will be a better comparison. All right, so just give me a second. We're gonna jump right into it. Okay, now as you can see, I basically have the wrenches outside of its packaging now. Okay, the first thing we're gonna take notice to real quick. First, we're gonna start over here with the Genius Professional boxing wrenches. Okay, one of the first things that I want you to take notice to is how square they are, okay, with its sharp edging, okay, testically compared to the snap-ons, as you can see, with its thin design, okay, and they're not squared off, okay. That's technically one thing. What we're gonna look at here is the measurement sizes from its smallest wrench all the way to its most biggest wrench. So as you can see here, we have 10 millimeter to 12 millimeter. Okay, you have 12 millimeter to 14 millimeter. Then as you get over here, you have 13 millimeter to 15 millimeter. Okay, over here you have 14 millimeter to 17 millimeter. Here, let me turn this around for you so you can get a better idea. Okay, so once again, that's the 14 to 17 millimeter. Then over here you have the 16 millimeter to 18 millimeter. And then at its most biggest wrench, you have 17 millimeter to only 19 millimeter. Okay, so this is the Genius Professional boxing wrenches, and as you can take notice, each wrench basically has its own part number, just in case you just needed one wrench and technically not the whole set. So you have the stock number to be able to get a replacement. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get over here, and this is the snap-on 0 degrees offsets. Okay. So as you can see here, this is 10 millimeter to 11 millimeter. Then you have 12 millimeter to 13 millimeter. Then you have 14 millimeter to 15 millimeter. Then you have 15 millimeter to 16 millimeter. Then you have 17 millimeter to 19 millimeter. And then 18 millimeter to 20 millimeter. So as you notice, they put the 17 with the 19 here and the 18 with the 20 millimeter here. Okay. Another thing that I want to point out is, if you notice, they give you two 15 millimeters. So as you can see, you have a 14 millimeter here and a 15 millimeter here, but then they also give you the 15 millimeter with a 16 millimeter on the other end. Okay, just to give you a different look and a view of what you would be getting in sets, depending upon your applications and your most daily use sizes. And once again, as you can see, um the Genius Professionals, the finish on these wrenches are very nice. Technically, compared, Snap-on is more of the better quality, but if you were to really take notice just alone to the finish of the wrenches, so that you could see, they're a little less expensive, but they are of good quality. They have a nice finish. The only issues basically with the Genius Professionals is some of the smaller size wrenches, because they're long, so they're gonna flex a little bit. That's basically common sense. Okay, the more higher up that you go in wrenches, the more thicker they become. But see, the thing with the snap-ons, you understand, they don't really flex at all. Like, you don't get no flex. Like, you can basically feel the quality. I'm not in the shop right now to actually put them on a fastener to be able to give you particular type flex demonstrations. But when it comes to the Genius Professional, I have done that in the past, and I have put that in videos or whatever the case might be. So if you haven't seen that, you can just possibly YouTube Genius Professional boxing wrenches with US General 5 drawer tool card. I think I put out a couple of videos specifically on these wrenches when it came to that situation. So that's just going to be one of the comparisons right there, just to throw that out there for the information of, the viewers and anybody who is interested, in picking up these items in their applications of work. Like I said, I'm not sponsored by no tool brands. These are my own personal tools that I purchased with my own money, because I'm not a DIYer. I actually work in a professional shop in a professional field 6 days a week. Okay, where I actually work more hours and more days than any other employee and any other technician in the shop. Okay, so just to put that out there for a moment. So I'm gonna get these items up out of the way, and I'm gonna get to a few other things. So just stay tuned. Okay, now this is gonna be something else that I want to point out about these US General 5 drawer and 4 drawer US General tool carts. Okay, in differential that I've noticed when I did actually own the 4 drawer tool cart. I moved some things from out of my ratchet drawer. As you can see, these are all extensions. I didn't really state what they were in the last video. As you can see, this is your 1/4 inch wobble pluses. Over here are regular, these are the locking um 1/4 inch impact extensions with the 1/4 inch hex shank, and these are your normal standard 1/4 inch impact extensions. As you can see, I have both of the Milwaukee stubbies. I actually have the hex driver, and I also have the 1/4 inch hex with an anvil. So basically that's what this set is for. And as you can see, I already stated in the last video, how I just put out and just received the 10 millimeter and the extra long 11 millimeter. And then as you can see here is just a 3-piece combination universal joint set. As you can see, everybody's familiar with these, so it's no big thing. But if you're not and you need the part number, whatever the case might be, the part number is 103 UFTS. Okay, but what I want to talk about and what I want to show at this prior moment that I wasn't able to get in that last previous video, testically, when it comes to the cubic spaces in a 5 drawer US General tool cart compared to the 4 drawer US General tool cart, and what I was saying about its drawers, okay, and how long in length its drawers are. So what I want to do is give an idea to the indifferential. If you don't own these tool carts and you were looking to obtain one of them, I just want to give you an idea of testically what the 5 drawers are looking like when it comes to the bottom drawer, testically compared to the drawers that are in the 4 drawer US General tool cart. Okay, um to give you a good look and idea, right? As you can see, which I'm going to point to, if you notice, these ratchet flex head ratchet heads are facing this way, right? Those are 2 different, here's that handle to one of them, because I have an orange handle on one of them and there's a red handle on the other. The one that actually has the orange handle is a non-locking 1/2 inch 24-inch 1/2 inch drive snap-on ratchet, and the other one is 24-inch 1/2 inch drive locking flex head. Okay, but this was the point that I was trying to make with those drawers, because in a 5 drawer tool cart, as you can see, those ratchets wouldn't be able to fit in this tool cart without me actually folding the heads. But when I had the 4 drawer US General tool cart, I didn't have to do that. I can just simply lay the ratchets directly in the drawer. So this was what I was trying to explain in the other video from yesterday, because as you can see, I got ratchets basically on top of ratchets, and sometimes you can't even really see everything because I have so many things congested all up in the back, and there was tools that I technically did not pull out. As you can see here, this is the Milwaukee Torque Precision screwdriver set. I actually have the other sets also, but I don't keep those sets in this tool cart. I actually keep those sets in my Milwaukee pack out backpack. Okay, which you can see that's laying right there, because that backpack right there is jam loaded with tools also. Okay, so this is what I was trying to say, how I have ratchets on top of ratchets, and then I have a couple of pry bars. The only pry bar that's in this drawer that isn't snap on is this one standard handle right here, which is Proto Professional, as you can see, which is USA made, and the part number is 546B. Okay, but basically everything else in this drawer is all snap on, and some, with the exception of a couple of items like this blow molded case is Milwaukee, and this is one of my most longest pry bars. The reason why I decided not to put this towards the side of the card and actually leave it in the drawer instead of having it in the compartments is due to the fact of the screwdriver accessible that I need to myself when I'm working. Okay, so that's just basically what that is, and something this really shouldn't even here, but as you can see, Mac tools. Okay, so like I said, yeah, I didn't really go that hard in depth with showing certain particular things. I'll get to and try to get through as much as I can now. Like I said, this video is turning out to be long, and I still have quite a few things to get through. So if you're willing to stick around, I'll just keep recording and try to give you as much as I can give you, what I'm saying, in one video, while I have enough battery to do so, instead of you giving you like a million and one different videos, because I only have but so many subscribers. You understand? In 11 months time, I think I put out a little less than 300 videos. I couldn't even keep count, because I was actually not just throwing out videos demonstrating or showing tools. I was throwing out videos of me actually using some of the equipment and working in my daily functions at work. So it's not like, when you come to this channel and, people throw out tool reviews and tool hauls and so on and so forth, and you just hear them talking or you see them visually. And yes, they talking about equipment and showing you equipment, but you never see them working. You understand? Like, I really do this. I really get busy. Okay. So just know, like I said, I'm not a professional commentator or video man, or you understand what I'm saying? I just try to do my best and give you what I can give you. And if it can help you, then so be it. All right. So I'm gonna get the rest of these other items out so I can get a little comparison among some things, and we're gonna jump right into it. Stay tuned. Okay, real quick, I'm not gonna go through this whole drawer. Like I said, this drawer is basically all scan tools and things like that. But I just want to pull out a couple items, because like I said, I do have Mac tools also, not just Milwaukee and Snap-on and some other brands. Like I said, I'm not biased, and yes, some of these things are tool truck brand items, but I have more than enough items that aren't tool truck brand items. Just unfortunately, you know how you have some people out there, um they get a lot of equipment either from Lowe's or Home Depot, or Harbor Freight is their choice of place to obtain a lot of different equipment. Like I said, I get basically, what works best for you, you know. Unfortunately, I don't own any Harbor Freight equipment or any Harbor Freight items to give reviews or demonstrate, to explain what the performance of them are, how they hold up, and so on and so forth. So, when I'm throwing out these videos, and yes, you see a lot of Snap-on or a lot of tool truck equipment, I don't want the viewers to get mistrayed, like, as if I'm out here and I'm hating on this, or I don't like that, and I'm just all for this over here, because technically it's not. I'd rather you hear it from myself. You understand? I don't know none of those people. Those people are not helping me make any money, or feeding my family and so on and so forth. You understand? Just as well as tool storages don't make money, tools do. Okay. So I just want to put that out there real quick. So I'm gonna get this stuff out of the way, and I'm gonna really get back to these comparisons. Just give me a second. Oh, and I just realized another thing real quick because I was asked in a comment about a lot of equipment that I have, and somebody went to comment to say is it that I buy a lot of the same items, or do I just keep a lot of doubles of items and so on and so forth. Just as well as you just see me receive, and I threw up in a video about me receiving the snap-on spark plug sockets. And in the video was stating that I actually do have spark plug sockets. Okay, I just unfortunately